Hello guys, welcome to Ethereum Parrot. We are starting to get some indications of where the market is heading. Particularly today, Monday, we got a few signals that close on Sunday, and I really want to share all these insights with you. I'm gonna give you an update on the setup on the RSI. We're getting close to the area of the breakout. It's not confirmed yet. I'm also gonna give you an update on the daily chart, which we are completely confirmed now. I'll share where is the liquidity for the next move. I'll share a bunch of sell signals that you have to be aware for Bitcoin. We're also going to give an update on what's going on with the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, the dominance. We got a sell signal from servers. This signal is very special. I'm gonna explain what it means. We look into the global macroeconomic liquidity, and I give you some sweet insights of where is the liquidity currently located on different platforms. There are some confluences there you don't want to miss. Guys, if this is the kind of content that you like to watch, I encourage you to hit the like, subscribe to the channel, enable that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload one of these videos. And if you want to support the channel, make sure you watch the video until the very end and do not go anywhere without leaving a comment down below. That's the best thing that you can do. What I got here is the chart of all the different ETFs. I'm sick and tired of listening even the word ETF. But you can see how 2 days of trading have been plotted on all the ETFs on TradingView. I can leave a link down below in the description if you want to just copy this chart to see them, all of them at the same time. Notice that there is no price action here because it's the weekend, it's an ETF. It should update as soon as the market goes open. Let's get started with Bitcoin on the 4-hour. This is the most immediate information that I want to share with you. As I mentioned yesterday, we were around here, and I say that we were going to have potentially some higher highs on the RSI forming bullish divergences. And if you notice this area around here, you can see that the closing price here reaches 42.7 and in here 41.7. That means that it did a lower low, whereas the RSI is doing higher low. This is a bullish divergence. Not all bullish divergences end up playing out, but it's kind of helping us to reach our target for a potential breakout. Notice I'm saying potential. I wouldn't be surprised that we reach this area and we get another rejection. But if that happens, what we want to see, instead of just getting disappointed, is another higher low around here. We already have a higher high as well. So 2 out of 3 boxes are checked, in the sense that we might be heading to break out outside this trend line sooner than expected. If you want to follow up on the minute on what's going on with this sort of patterns, you can follow me on Twitter. My handle is Trading Parrot, and I have set up alerts on all these things. So as soon as I get an alert, I check out the charts and I post on Twitter how these things are evolving. So currently we are just waiting patiently. This can end up on a rejection, as I said, or it can end up straight away breaking out. So we need to keep an eye on that. Notice as well that we are holding on the pivots. We held on the 3rd of January, on the 4th, on the 12th, and yesterday. So that is holding so far. It's not looking as great because before you can tell that the wick was very strongly holding, we close one red candle inside the pivots. Instead of improving, it's kind of getting worse. And you know what they say about support, that the more it gets hammered, eventually it gives up and it could break and allow another move to the downside. And that could give us this green move that we are talking about there. So keep an eye for both outcomes. When looking at the big picture, which is something that everybody should be doing, we can see that we got a strong, massive rejection here. This candle is very bearish. We didn't get one here that bad like this one. If you see how large is this candle starts from around 49 to 41. So it's almost a 10K weekly bearish candle. Compared to this ones, is kind of 1/3. That indicates that here there's was a lot of profit taking, and we were talking throughout this period that whales were mildly selling into retail. So you were informed that yes, we moved to 49, and yes, we might make another push to this area to try out once again. That is not out of the table. It can still happen even while having this bearish candle right here. On the daily, we can see that from August last year, we built all the structure, and currently we are kind of undoing this for a wave to the downside. We broke below, we have some swing trades around here, but we are coming down and still printing lower lows on this area. And it's very impressive that from October, we've been holding this red line. I'm currently using Lux Algo Price Action Concepts, which is a premium indicator that it does all these drawings. I want to come back to this chart because if we break above this trend line here and we finally manage to have this bullish move, we need to look into where is the liquidity. Let's acknowledge that the structure currently, at least on the 4-hour, and we could even say on the daily, is bearish. And even if we are in a bearish context, we still need to look for all those dead cat bounces, how high it can bounce that dead cat. Around here, we can see that there is a fair value gap that starts from 43.2 all the way to 45.6. So take note of those numbers if you want to be very aggressive. Of course, you're going to target the higher end. Just make sure that you're taking profits along the way. If we get very lucky, I will say with a chance of maybe 10 to 20%, we could still take the liquidity around here from 49 to 50.3. But I will say right now that is the lowest likely scenario. Let's have a look at the global liquidity that is being injected in the macroeconomy. We can see how these waves of injection of liquidity are very correlated with the bullish moves of Bitcoin. We've been just experiencing a massive increase in the liquidity in the system. But just by looking at this chart, you can start speculating that potentially that liquidity could slow down, and with a slowdown like this or like this one or like this one, there is always together with that some sort of cool down on the price action as well. So this being a little bit toppy at the same time, this is cooling off, makes a lot of sense. In regards to technicals, we don't need to look further than the PNR, the percentile nearest rank, that is showing us here with these red dots areas that are very likely to become a top. Just like the green dots can become a resumption on the uptrend. For example, here you have a green and this made a move to the upside until 32. And then you have resumption around 25 and it made a move to 49. And the same way you get tops around here. These are local tops with red dots. They are not by the hour perfect. These are daily signals, but we can see how here it was constantly telling us, be careful, this could be another top. And one of my favorite indicators that I built last year called Cerberus, this indicator looks not just at total and BTC, but also at all the stable coins. And it was telling us from around October that this is a warning that this is running too hot. And it did all this curve here, and right now is confirming the sell. So all this area from October to the 8th of January was an area ideal for considering taking profits. When you get the sell, it might be a bit late to sell. Now it's confirmed that this was a dangerous area to start investing in Bitcoin. Last week, we were speculating that we were going to be able to close above this trend line on the pair Ethereum Bitcoin, and that could bring an altcoin season. We were waiting for Sunday to see if the signal was going to close above, and it did close above, and I have to say it's holding very healthy at this level. We could have some sort of retest around here, but this is already looking quite bullish for the altcoins. Anything can happen, of course. Be careful if Bitcoin makes a very bearish move to the downside. This could also become a little bit painful. For altcoin season, apart from the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, it's very important to keep an eye on the Bitcoin dominance. On the long term, you can see that there is this resistance at these two levels. If we project it around here, we can see that we broke out above it. But since we broke out, we've been retesting, and that's all we've been doing. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. So far, every time we break out on the Bitcoin dominance, we have loads of retests and then another breakout. And we have repeated that recipe from November 2022. So this is the time where we have to start considering that this might have lost too much momentum here, and there is a chance that it could start coming back down here, getting choppy and sell out. If it doesn't hold here, there might not be another push to the upside on the Bitcoin dominance. And why we care about Bitcoin dominance? Very simple. In order for an altcoin season, one of the ingredients for that formula to work out is the Bitcoin dominance to not be so high. It's almost impossible to get an altcoin season when Bitcoin is taking so much of the total market cap. When we made the video about Ethereum breaking out, we were on altcoin season index at 57, and you can see the effect of what we said. Ethereum takes all the odds together to the upside when it holds above. We just closing this high in a breakout evidently helped all the altcoins outperform Bitcoin and close at 78. So this is officially, by definition, an altcoin season. You can see that Bitcoin was pushed way below in the ranking of performance in the past 3 months. All these coins on the left-hand side are currently officially outperforming Bitcoin. Before we finish the video, I want to have a look at where is the liquidity. We're going to look into CoinGlass, Firecharts, High Block Capital, and Trading Light. And we're going to see if we find some confluence also with the fair value gaps that we reviewed earlier. Starting with CoinGlass, if we look at the 3-day, we can see that 45 and 46 are the most packed levels with liquidity. Remember to look at these levels, magnets to the price. I usually like to also zoom out and see the big picture, at least on the 3 months. I'm constantly keeping an eye on this 34K level that has the largest level of liquidity in the past 3 months. It's not guaranteed that we can get there, but definitely is attracting the price. And if there's enough bearishness narrative, eventually we could get there or even pierce it and cross it below. On material indicators, we can see on the weekly here, very interestingly, we have another confluence with the 45, although there's some front runners here at 43.8. So if we finally break above that 4-hour time frame, there's a chance that we visit those levels. There's nothing else showing currently on the weekly. On the monthly, we can see how all the sellers are 50, kind of lost the hope to get to 50. There's still liquidity here, but it's not comparable to what we had when we were getting closer. They are telling us their intention to sell on us at 50K, and have no doubt that if we start coming back up here, that level might come back. They're just pulling out because they don't want you to know too early what is their intention. And if we look at High Block Capital, I always like to watch this area, the liquidation levels. We can see that there's a lot of liquidation levels above the price, and the delta is in red, meaning that there is more shorts that are currently risking getting liquidated. So that is another small argument that you can put on the table to say, yes, we might go slightly to the upside. And looking at the liquidation level heat map, we see interestingly in the past 7 days on High Block Capital that the largest levels of liquidity start from 51 to 50. When we look at CoinGlass on the weekly, we don't see those levels that big relative to what High Block Capital is showing us. And on Trading Light, on 50, there's barely anything. In fact, it's more relevant the 44.2. Trading Light is showing us a big chunk of levels, expecting the price to visit the 38.4. So the sentiment is bearish, and people are trying to get the opportunity to see a swing here, to buy, and then potentially to dump it later. We don't see many significant levels below that, so it seems to be that the expectation is that the price could visit those levels. Whenever I see too many levels like this, there's too much interest in certain specific level, and that tends to play against that hypothesis, meaning that it might not happen that the price reaches this level to please all these orders. Maybe it just comes to 40.5 and it bounces from there and it leaves all these people behind. When that happens, you can confirm that they got disappointed because the price comes here, it bounces back up, and these orders start disappearing because getting frustrated that they cannot fill the orders and they start shifting them up, which happens usually in conjunction with a shift in the sentiment of the traders. If those things start happening, I'm also gonna share them on Twitter as soon as I can. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and all the updates. I hope you managed to watch the videos last week to learn that we were about to have altcoin season. I was forecasting that for a while, and let's see how this week plays out. Let's see if we get the breakout of Bitcoin to do that dead cat bounce that I'm expecting. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.